and welcome to Rosberry Crafts, my YouTube channel where I share all my crafty adventures. Today is February 16th. Now I gotta check my notes. Yep, 16th, and this is episode 87. My name is Roz, and I live in Lake Country, British Columbia, Canada, with my husband and my two kids who are 13 and 12. Welcome to all you new viewers, and thank you very much for coming back to all my returning viewers. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button down below to make sure you see all my new content. I've got some exciting new extras coming up on the channel, and I want to make sure you guys see them as well. And also, growing my audience, make sure you tell a friend if you've enjoyed the episode to check it out. And that's always appreciated. Today for you, I have what am I wearing, finished objects, works in progress, stash, events, and some chatter. Let's get started, shall we? What am I wearing? As you can hear in my voice, I have a bit of a scratchy throat still. I didn't record an episode last week because I was sick, and this is hanging on, guys. This one is just not letting go. So I just have a cold, headache, sore throat, stuffy nose. I had sinus headache for 3 days straight. It was pretty bad. And I definitely didn't give myself the time to rest and recover. And so this is hanging on. And now here I am with a scratchy, froggy voice. But I'm feeling a lot better. My energy is back. And so it's just the weird voice left. Hopefully it doesn't stick around for a long time. I'm going to try and not talk the rest of the weekend. We have a pretty chill weekend at home, and hopefully feel better next week. Today I am wearing a couple of knitwear items. I've got my Ease sweater. You've seen this one a lot. This is by Alicia Plummer, and it's out of Patton's Classic Wool in the dark marl colorway. I wear this sweater a lot, even though it is kind of variegated. I do wear it as a staple basic piece in my wardrobe. So much so that I think I should make another one. It may be even a more plain color, because that's what I seem to gravitate towards, especially through the winter, is I wear a sweater, plain sweater, fancy cowl, or shawl. I am also wearing my shortest day shawl, and I forget who this is by. I didn't write it in my notes. Anyway, I will put all of the details down below, along with everything else that I talk about in this podcast. This is an advent I got from Fireweed Fiber Co. This was the 2022 advent calendar. And I love this cowl. It is a cowl. It slips on over your head. It's got quite a deep V on it. I'm trying not to bump the microphone. There we go. And yeah, I love it. The tassels are so much fun. I kind of wish that, I sewed the whole edges down because I didn't want to have to shift and mess with it so that it is truly a cowl. But I kind of wish that I could flip it so that sometimes you see these colors, because each section is a different color, and then getting up near the top there's some really fun colors that I feel like you don't see very much of them because they're in this cowly bit. But I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I'm hoping that all this wool on my neck helps create a healing vibe for my voice. That is it for what am I wearing, and we'll move on to finished objects. First up, I have a very small finished object to show you, and it's a baby hat. This is the Bankhead hat by Susie Gourlay. And this is, I just felt like knitting a hat, a quick little hat, as sometimes you just need to finish something. And so, yeah, this is out of Loops and Thread Impeccable Tweed in the brown colorway. I think I've used this brown all up now. So I've knit quite a few baby sweaters and baby hats out of it, and it is done out of my stash completely. So I enjoyed this pattern a lot. I would definitely knit it again. And in fact, I am, as you will see, in works in progress. So it gives, with the purl in there, it just gives that little bit of stretch for the top of the hat too, but super fun. And I have a very big finished object. Oh, it's so pretty. This is the Traveling Woman Shawl by Liz Abinate. And I've been working on this since the summer. I mean, I've been genuinely working on it more this year, but I did cast it on in the summer. So it has turned out beautifully. I'm so happy with the lace pattern, the pattern at the end too. I'll hold it up so you can see. It just blocked out so nicely. This yarn is Gauge Dye Works in her MCN fingering weight in the peacock colorway. So you really get those. It's hard to see on camera, but there is like, so there's two different greens, and then this section of blue, this section of blue, and then the bottom section of blue. But it just gradiates so nicely, and it's beautiful. And it's MCN, so it's merino, cashmere, nylon. I probably could have done another 2 rows with the amount of yarn that was left, but instead I just finished the pattern as written and then made these lovely tassels. They're giant. But I've worn this shawl a couple days now, and the tassels definitely help like hold it in place because there's weight at the end of those ends, and it just helps hold everything in place. I haven't had to wear a cuff or adjust it much. Even the backside looks pretty, guys. Loving, loving, loving this so much. I'm so excited. So it is just, yeah, it's just lovely. Very happy with it. And we will move on to works in progress. First up, I'm going to show you another bankhead hat. This one is also out of Loops and Thread Impeccable, but this is just their regular, not their tweed. And this is the Deep Forest colorway. So it is a very dark green, a little bit olivey, but just a very dark, dark, dark pine green. And yeah, so this has all been worked on. You know, sometimes your brain just needs that regular, plain-ish knitting, something you can just go. I think I'm just about ready to start the decreases, which will be just in time because that is all I have left. So yeah, cutting it a little close, and I might have to rip back and cut out a 1/2 inch or something, but that is the Bankhead hat by Susie Gourlay, as I said before. And yeah, I'm quite enjoying that pattern. And it's, I have a bunch of this, not a bunch, I have a couple skeins of that Loops and Thread Impeccable that I'm going to use up. I'm just going to keep knitting that hat until it's all used up. And then there'll be more skeins out of my stash. And then I'm going to have to replenish some of my Aran weight stash because I think that might be the end of it. That is that hat. I have another hat that I cast on recently. This is the Musselburgh by Sol de Tigre. I've knit quite a few of these. I'm doing another fingering weight one. How cool are those colors? So I'm hoping that it's going to kind of stripy pool, but obviously there's a different circumference here, so it creates different patterning, but yeah. This yarn is Yarn Love Joan of Arc, and what's unique about this yarn is that it's a 50% merino, 50% tencel, which is, I believe, a synthetic fiber. so it has a very different feel to it. It still has like the springiness of a wool, but it also has the stability of like a cotton or a nylon. It's super soft. This would be a great like spring or fall hat, and it's fingering weights, so this is a very thin material, but I am loving how it's working up. And yes, I'm just at the round and round and round part. I am doing the medium, adult medium size. I think that's going to be a good size. I will always find a head that fits these hats, so that's not a problem. But this has been great for my on-the-go knitting, and I've got it in my little triangle dumpling bag in the car, at, waiting for children, all that kind of stuff, because I'm just going round and round and round for 18, 19 inches. So that has been excellent. The last work in progress I have is my Choose Your Own Adventure Mystery Knit Along from the Northern Knits podcast. So I'm on clue 4. If you don't want to see any of these yet, if you're keeping it a mystery for yourself, feel free to skip ahead to the stash segments. You can use the chapters down below here. Otherwise, stay tuned for some amazing, amazing yarn here. Okay, let's start at the end. So we started, this is the front. Not that it really matters. We started with this beautiful stitch pattern for clue 1. And then we have a bit of transition. We have clue 2, this lovely eyelet lace. Then we have more transition. And I have finished clue 3. It's this lovely texture on here. So for the first one, I was Diana. Second one is Jocelyn. Third one is Jocelyn. And fourth one is Jocelyn. I've just started clue 4, and it's more lace. But super straightforward, super easy. I love how it looks. And the color 4 is so much darker. Where's color 3? I don't have much color 3 left, but it is quite a bit darker. But you still get the pops of the colors in there. So it's transitioning so nicely. And I'm looking forward to keeping working on that. I do have to count a bit more. So this is less of an on-the-go project than it was before. When I was doing the textured section, I could kind of do it during meetings and stuff like that. This one I do have to count the stitches and stuff. So I find that I have to pay attention to what I'm doing, which is fine because it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be amazing. The yarn that I'm using is Fireweed Fiber Co. in her Sweet Pea Sock, and the colorway is Dreams of Winter Light. So, and that's getting darker and darker. It's a 6-color fade. So pretty. I can't wait to have that. It's going to be a gigantic shawl, and it's going to be a blanket, a wearable blanket, and I'm going to cozy up in it, and it's going to be lovely. So that is it for my works in progress. I'm just checking my notes. Yep, that is all of my current works in progress. We're going to move on to stash. For stash this week, I am going to talk about something a little bit different, and I'm going to talk about frogging projects and putting the yarn back in my stash. So I made this, and I'll put it up on the screen because I don't have the details. I made this poncho for Taylor out of some Cascade 220, and it's just a plain like silver gray. It was a very straightforward knit because you basically just knit this huge rectangle. There's a hole in the middle for her head, and it's got this lovely texture on it. She was convinced that she was going to wear this all the time. I wasn't convinced at the time. If you go back to the episodes where I'm making this, I definitely talk about how I'm not convinced she's going to wear it. She ended up not wearing it, and it's not really her style anymore. So I am going to reclaim the yarn. I'm looking over there because I have a full skein and almost a half skein of it. And I think there was 5 or 6 total. So yeah, I'm going to unpick the cast off figure out which one is which, and then unpick it and wind it up. And yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the cast off here. Let's see. Oh yeah, see, there's my end woven in. So yeah, I'm gonna undo this, reclaim the yarn, and make something else with it. Now that does make my total stash amount go up for the year, but I'm hoping that I can get to this pretty quick and be able to use it. My question is, I'm definitely ripping this one out. My question for you guys is, do you want to see that process of how I undo a project, how I skein up the yarn again? In this case, because it has been sitting like this for a while, and I'm going to be probably knitting a sweater for myself out of it, and I want to make sure the gauge is the gauge. So I'm going to skein it up, I'm going to soak it and dry it so that it gets all the ramen noodle kinks out of it. Also how I rip out a project with my ball winder. I'm sure there's other videos out there for it, but are you interested in seeing how I do this? So I'm going to put that in my to-do pile, and I probably won't get to it this weekend, but maybe next weekend. And so let me know if you're interested in that. But that amount of yarn is going back in the stash. The other two things that I wanted to talk about are a couple long-standing works in progress that I'm just not gravitating towards picking up and working on them. And I think there's a couple reasons why. The first one is my Stormborn shawl. I actually don't even have needles, just on a holder at the moment. It is a beautiful lace pattern, and this is beautiful yarn. I just think that the busyness, the variegation in this yarn and this lace pattern is too much, and you're not going to see that beautiful lace because you're going to be distracted by the fun pops of color. And then you don't really see the pops of color because there's so much texture and lace going on. Also, this is a 3 chart at a time pattern, and I just don't have the brain space for that. So I think I'm going to rip this out and knit this yarn into something else. I have 2 cakes of this beautiful Fireweed Fiber Co. sparkly. It's a one-of-a-kind colorway, so I can't get any more, but I think I have lots, and the sparkle on this is just amazing. So I think I'm going to make myself a top out of it, like a spring top. So yeah, I think that's the plan for this. Because there's not much of this, I will probably just rip it out, re-cake it up, and get started on that. But it's not technically out of stash yet, so it's not making my stash number bigger. The other item is my Ripple camisole. Okay, so it looks really silly because it's like super long, but it is super, super, super wide. But I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not feeling like working on it. And I'm just not convinced that I will wear it. I love my store-bought camisoles. I wear one pretty much every day, except for in like the heat of July. So I don't know. I just don't know that I will wear this. I've spent a lot of time working on it, and I think that I got to rip it out. I don't know what I'll do with this yarn. I have like 2.5 skeins of this lovely teal. I also don't like the pooling and flashing on it. I don't know why. I don't like it. So I would do something else with it. Maybe hold it double so you don't get as much of that pooling. You could really see it in the camera. This is just some knit picks, stroll fingering. I don't know. Maybe hold it with something else so I don't see that kind of pooling. Maybe alternate helical knit. I don't know. So many options, but so I need your votes on the shawl. Should I rip it out? I'm still going to plan to knit that shawl. I'm just going to pick a plain color so that you really see the lace pattern, so that really shines. And then what should I knit with that sparkly, fun patterned yarn? I'm thinking just like a simple tee, and just really let the yarn play and shine. And then should I rip out the Ripple camisole? And if I have 2 skeins of that, what should I do with that? I don't know. Maybe save it for something else. I don't know. It's an odd teal color. It doesn't really go with the other teal colored yarn that I have, or yeah, I'd have to kind of dig. I have a lot more like sky blue side of teal instead of the like greeny side of teal. So that is it for stash. We will figure out what to do with those things, and we'll move on to events. For events this week, I'm just going to quickly talk about the wrap up to the Downseller Studio Pigskin Party for 23-24. It is closed. It is done. You can't enter anymore. I entered quite a few projects. I'm very proud of myself for how many I got entered in there. And it's been a very exciting season, and we'll have to keep on the lookout for what's next. Moving on to chatter. For chatter today, I don't have a lot to talk about because I've been sick, although it has been 2 weeks since I recorded last. I just have been hanging out at home a lot, knitting a lot, and hopefully sleeping a lot. Some nights were better than others. I'm sorry, I put my notes down here now so I have 3 books. The first one I read on my Kobo. It's The Valet Who Loved Me by Valerie Bowman. This is the next one in the Footman Club series. And I quite enjoyed that. And that was the 3rd one. And now I'm reading the 4th one. So that's exciting. And then I've listened to 2 books. So I completed Lord of Chaos by Robert Jordan, which is part of the Wheel of Time series. And my husband requested that I read Red Rising by Pierce Brown. We have a subscription to Audible, and he bought that one on Audible, so we have that one. He is on book 3. I am on the first book, and yes, I agree. It's an amazing series, and if you enjoy that kind of fantasy world building experience, there's revolution, there's challenges, coming of age, it definitely from a male point of view. So take that with a grain of salt, but it was an excellent book and I highly recommend it. It's so excellent that I think I'm going to actually read it next time instead of listen to it. So we will see. I think I should have read it the first time around because I do enjoy kind of, being able to kind of pause and think about things when I'm reading. When I'm listening to an audiobook, usually I'm like doing the dishes or, or knitting or, doing other things, chores and such, or driving somewhere. So I don't always get that 100% pay attention to the book. Whereas when I'm reading a book physically, either in book or in Kobo form, I really, get into the story more. So I often listen to audiobooks that are a bit more fluff or something I've read before. So, because then I'm just kind of like, if I, miss a couple sentences, it's not a big deal and I know where I'm at. Anyway, that's just how I do it. So I think I'm going to go back and read Red Rising before I move on to book 2. Also, I have so many book series on the go. It's hard to keep track. Good thing I have Storygraph to help me keep track of what I've read and what I haven't read and where I am in each book. If you don't have Storygraph and you read a fair bit, definitely check it out. It's a great website. I have all the books marked of the ones that we own, and then I have ones marked for the kids of which ones I think they should read or they would enjoy, and then I have all of my reading in there too. So. The other thing, I haven't received it yet, but I'm very excited about it. And it is a subscription box to a company called Tea Runner. It's a Canadian company. and they offer tea subscriptions, but it's not like a mystery thing. So you get to pick which teas you would like in your box, and I'm very excited to try them. And I think that hopefully I will remember to record a few clips when I do receive the box, and I can kind of put them in at the end of that episode. There's a few things been happening in our lives. Cooper had his regionals robotics competition. This is the first Lego League robotics competition challenge, and all 3 of the teams from his school made it to provincials. So next month I'll be going down to Maple Ridge for provincials. It's very exciting. We're very proud of him, 2 years in a row. Taylor has been doing a ton of rock climbing, and if with her permission, I will put some photos or maybe some video of her rock climbing in at the end. She's getting very proficient at it and enjoys it a lot. She also has the right body type for it, so she can pull up her weight with like just her arms. She doesn't weigh a lot, so maybe that helps. And Mike and I did get out on a little date night and went to a dance. It was a fundraiser for the local dance school, and it was a 90s theme. I will also put a picture of our costumes for that in the end. We went literally with 1990. We did not go with like the grunge era. We went with, kind of more late 80s style, but we leaned into it and we loved it and we had a great time with it. I think, the last thing is that spring seems to be around the corner. However, it was below 0 today. I went out for a lovely walk and I have a couple pictures of the ice on the lake. Not very great ones, but it was beautiful and sunny, and I was so thankful to get out and walk in the sunshine. It was very, very nice. So that is everything that I have for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, I probably should have talked about this at the beginning, and I'll try to remember the next episode to talk about this at the beginning. But, quite a few episodes from now will be my 100th episode. My husband has agreed to come on and answer your questions. And I don't feel like last time when I did the 50th, I didn't really give people enough time to submit questions. So I'm going to link a Google form below that you can submit your questions. You can submit multiple times as you think of things. You can put them in the comments below, is totally fine too. You don't have to use the Google form to just ask me anything you want to know about myself, my husband, our crafty things, personal stuff, within reason, of course. Anything you want to know, please feel free, comment down below, put it in the Google form. I would love your questions for that episode. I'm also going to be doing a little quiz for him on knitting terminology and what he thinks different things mean. So if you have any of those questions, feel free to include those as well. I wanted to quickly shout out that we have a Ravelry group. It's very quiet, but I'm hoping that more people can get on there and chit chat. We also have a Discord server. If that's easier for you to chat that way, you can send me an email. And I also have started a Ko-fi account. Ko-fi, I don't know exactly how you say it, but if you're feeling generous and you wish to donate to the podcast, this will help with like upgrading equipment, or if I do prizes for the 100th episode, it will help with shipping, things like that. So if you're feeling generous and you want to donate, I would appreciate it a lot. The other thing is I have on this channel coming up a couple interviews, and I would like to do more of those. So I would like to know from you who you would like to see interviewed. This is like a meet the maker kind of interview. It's not necessarily like other celebrities out in the knitting world, but if you would like to be on the podcast with me, tell me some of your knitting journey, tell me some of your favorite projects, maybe something disastrous happened in your knitting, or you just want to chat about anything to do with knit, crochet, sewing, craftiness, other hobbies you do, I would love to have you on the podcast. Feel free to email me. The link is down, or the email is down below. Okay, I'm really going to stop talking this time. It's been great to catch up with you, and we will see you all again next time. Bye.